Hey guys, it's Tehani. I haven't made a video in a really long time. Haven't uploaded anything in a long time, so I just wanted to make a video and do my first vlog on this particular channel and talk about what's been going on. I haven't disappeared. I'm actually doing more than I ever have in the realms of dance and performance art education, but it's taken a bit of I don't want to say a detour, but it's taken on new form that's very exciting, and I finally found a way to integrate a lot of the things that I've been doing, because sometimes people go on my website and they're like, well, there's dance, okay, I get that, but then there's like this lecture thing, and then you write, okay, so you write, and then there's this weird woo-woo spiritual dance stuff, okay, and then there's this Reiki thing, but you don't understand that's all the same. So I write, but what do I write about? I write about the stuff that I'm doing: role performance art, cultural anthropology, spirituality, but based in movement rituals, in shamanic performance art, things that I've studied all around the world. What do I focus on in healing? What do I focus on? I focus on healing the physical body, and everything I do has to do with using the physical body. And so as I integrate a lot of this work, a lot of things that are going to show up on this channel are going to change a little bit, but I'm always going to perform. Always going to perform, always going to have fun, stuff like that. I'm still teaching, still doing a lot of workshops. My big thing has been sacred dance, and no, it does not look doesn't look like what we've come to know in our society, or at least in the spiritual community, as like trance dance. No, it looks like dancing. It's actually aesthetically pleasing. As you know, I wouldn't promote dance that was not enjoyable to watch, you know. So I'm excited about that, and I recently ran into a video that I need to not post on my site, from the show that we did in Mexico, and that was trance dance embodied. So there was Middle Eastern dance in it, there was elements of Latin and ballroom in it, there was a bit of like hula and Polynesian in it, there was a bit of hip-hop in it, and it's a convergence of things. And I think the reason why I haven't done anything on this channel for so long is because we get so stuck in these boxes where it's like, oh, is it this or is it that? What is it? What is it? And we are not flat, one-dimensional beings. We're not, as artists, as performers, we're not about, there's something to be said about traditions being honored, but the reason why innovation is so beautiful and innovation has always been so popular and intriguing and inspiring is because we're taking something and we're making it more. We're adding layers and layers and layers we're adding layers of energy and essence and information and education and culture and beauty to things. So it's still what it is, the core of what it is, but it's just more. Kind of the same way, and it's the same way that we should view ourselves in our work. And I'm finally coming out and saying, hey, this is what I do, get over it. And it isn't just straight, are you okay, Bella? Sorry, my doggy's coughing. It isn't just straight entertainment anymore. I'm finally giving people what my education and my dad, and my experiences, and my travels have given me. Like dances and performance art, you okay, baby? Has been so much more than just movement. And though it is entertaining and aesthetically pleasing and it's fun, it comes from a space that is so much more than any of its creations. The source from which it comes from is always greater. And when the source says, hey, I can't do any better than that, that's when the source or the person or the energy has forgotten what it is. And so I, as an artist evolving and growing, it's time to just finally integrate these two worlds and be okay with it and be fine with it. And it's not so much that I'm worried about people not accepting it, but I didn't accept it for a while. I thought, oh no, I'm a professional artist, I do this full time, and so I got stuck in this box where it's like, I can't say I'm not a real performer if I do other things. Like, that's silly, that's ego, that's a mind screw, that's something that I don't believe in. So that's that. there's going to be a lot more dance stuff on this channel, but not just performance anymore. I'm finally integrating my other channel with this one, and I'm going to upload a lecture I did on sacred dance, take it or leave it. I'm going to upload a couple things on what I'm doing in collaboration with other mediums and artists and presentations and lectures, so it should be fun. I'm excited about taking this and doing a lot more. It's just time. It's just overdue. I've been doing this for so long. It's just time to finally put it out there a little bit more. And I myself have not been able to do that internally. So now that I'm good with it, I'm comfortable with it, I'm finally putting it out there. Lastly, the other reason why I haven't been doing as much dance stuff for the past year, I'm finally going straight ahead and doing it again. The reason I haven't been is I haven't been feeling well. I had a health scare last year, but thankfully I have a handle on it, and it comes from a space of great vulnerability for me to be able to say that. But also I feel that it's just time to be real enough with myself to say, okay, this is something that I do have to address, and it's okay. It's okay. I've never been comfortable with vulnerability, at least on that level, outside of myself, and saying, okay, I might have to admit that there's something wrong. And that was really hard, because it's a physical thing, and as dancers, we're very, very, very overly critical and obsessive. Yeah, I'll say it, obsessive about our physical health, because we understand it's our livelihood. I love that quote, never mistaken a street address for where you actually live. I live on the floor, on the earth, from which provides me a space to move. And if I do not have the physical capacity or the capability to do that, it's scary. And so I had a bit of a health scare, but the good news is I'm finally addressing it and saying, okay, this is something that I do have to do and I do have to address. So that's been nice. I basically just woke up one day, and I was a teenager, and I'm in my 30s. Yeah. Woke up one day and said, I want to dance. So what did I do? I traveled all around the world. I won an international competition. Okay, great. Woke up one day and said, I want to write. I want to write professionally. So I've published articles in magazines. I've been a columnist for a paper. I've self-published my dad's work. That's the only reason why I went that route. It's my dad's work, and it's a very personal project. I didn't want anyone to touch it. And I've got some writing projects, and I've done professional writing services for other people. Okay, great. I've excelled at that too. And then woke up one day and said, I'm going to be a healer. I really want to push this. And so I've started a business. I've made a living writing and dancing and doing this healing stuff, and the convergence of that, like doing movement meditations, taking this rich culture, and I've made a career out of doing lectures at museums, schools, and libraries, and performances, and educational performances, and teaching and workshops, and I just love it. But it comes with a price. It does. I can't. It's just. It's become, not that it is impossible, but for me, it became. I was stuck in the illusion that it was impossible to take care of other things, because I was just so driven. I mean, something had to give. I mean, people know. People come over to my place. They're like, God, can't you wash that dish? I'm like, I'll get to it later. No, I don't let them pile up. No, that was like when I first started, when I was in college. I was first, I just really let things go. But no, the basics I've got down. But as far as like my physical health, I really need to make it a priority again. And that's another reason why some of the performances, the other things that I did just cause, things like Artists for Action, things like the Artist Feast, which was a micro grant, things like the Red Tent, things like all these free things I did that were pretty successful, well-funded events, and I did it just because I wanted to, and just because I loved it. And I was like giving and giving and giving so much, I finally got to a point where like, holy shit, I got to give to myself too. So last year has just been a time of me just going within, taking care of myself again, so I can go back out and have the energy to do it. So that's what's going on. That's that. I'm excited about sharing more of these projects, and again, taking the two worlds that I've been living in and really not just Like, for example, on my website, not just saying, oh, by the way, that's there. It's like, no, I'm not afraid of saying, okay, this is what I do. Get over it now. Because it all is related. It all has to do with empowerment through performance art, through remembering that the physical body is a part of us, and it is a reflection of what's going on inside, and it's also a projection on the outside world. And what it's just all about empowerment, self-empowerment, and giving that to people and inspiring people and being inspired through being around that and using it as a vehicle, because that's what we have, our physical bodies, to do what we want, and using it as my topics in my writing, using it as, you know, it's all interrelated. And so everything I do, don't think, oh my gosh, it's like a website with nothing on it. That was my fear, which is silly, because I actually looked and read my website the other day and I realized, wait, this is related. Okay. I don't have to, what's the word, justify myself to myself anymore. So I'm finally saying, okay, well, now that I finally don't have to do that, keep convincing myself I'm doing something worthwhile, it's so easy to do that outside because I've gotten over the stuff in here. So that's that. I'm excited about doing more things. So welcome to the new dancingtehani.com website, new Dancing Tehani business, the new way that I do things. I'm very excited about a lot of things going on, and I have a couple new projects coming up that are very, very different, completely different from anything I've done before. It's very exciting. I'm back on the inspiration kick, and I'm very passionate, very driven, very excited, more so than ever before, as far as my educational goals and routes and things that have happened with that. I'll share one of these days, but for now, thank you for supporting me. I love you, and see you on the dance floor.